Back here on MediaCom Channel 22, talking Cougar basketball. The Columbia College Cougars off to a great start in 2010. Hard to believe we're about ready to flip the calendar to 2011 in just a few days, but that's the facts. It's December basketball right now. The Cougars at number 23 in the latest poll that came out this week for the NAIA. And before we know it, we'll be into conference basketball. But to the here and now, Coach Burchard, if you had I know it's only a dozen games into the season, but if you had to pick a MVP, two or three guys, who right now are the most impressive that you've seen for your ball club right now?
It's a great question, Cosmo, because I don't know that I can answer that other than we're a gang. I really don't know that we have a most valuable player.
Would you say?
We have some guys that are outstanding in certain areas, but you know, we just really haven't had one guy that you would say he's the most amazing guy that you have on your team, and I don't know that that's a bad thing. In a lot of ways, over a 30-game season, it's a nice thing not to have to depend on just one or two people. I will mention a couple. I think Darnell Moore has really stood out early as a spark. He doesn't start for us, but he comes off the bench and really adds a lot of energy. I think our point guard, Enrique Medeiros, has really kind of helped us in the transition period in that position, which is like Paula, a setter, or a quarterback, or any reference to have a leadership position is done nice there. I think our older kids, Greg Stegeman, really had an amazing weekend. I thought he played at a very high level this past weekend. Taylor Evans and Jerron Strickland have provided leadership. But I think it's a gang.
Yeah.
And I use that term in a positive way. I think it's a gang effort.
I was going to say, you go back to the team that ran all the way to the championship game for you, and you had the blue and the white team. This is kind of like the blue and white team. Everybody, onto one unit and interchangeable parts. And it seems like at the ball games when you see them at Southwell, you listen to the broadcast with Tex Little on ColumbiaCougars.com, that whenever you make substitution moves and you guys make your changes, not much is missed on whatever that situation is called for with who you're bringing in there.
Well, I don't think we drop levels.
Right.
In Cosmo, I think that's really important, and it's a really important thing. In part of our philosophy is we're trying to get each one of our guys to their highest level, and we really feel if we do that, then it'll lift the whole group. So I don't think at any point in time I ever feel like we're bench has this kind of negative connotation to it, and I don't like to refer to it as a bench. Sometimes I refer to it as a rest area. Go get a drink, go get a snack or something at the rest area, but not, you're benched. And that's a hard sell for student athletes as well, because it takes an unselfish person to be willing to sit down for a while and let somebody else participate. And that goes back to that chemistry question. So, I like that. I like that in a team. Obviously, we like it when somebody puts up big numbers somewhere in there, but it is a team game, and I think basketball is probably one of the most team-oriented sports, just by the nature of the competition. So we work very hard to get every one of our guys to a high level.
We're talking with Bob Burchard on the Columbia Cougars Coaches Show. Coach's Show is the name of the show. We've got another coach that's going to join you. Talk a little bit about your assistants. It's a great chemistry between all the programs at Columbia College with the head coach and the assistants, and the experience level that everybody has as assistant. John Klein's assistant with John Deshay, and same for Coach Washington with several of her assistants who are former players that are obviously know her system. Talk a little bit about Sean and Drew that are on your sideline.
Well, I think you hit on it, though. We were talking chemistry with our team. Yeah. And I really do feel like we've got a nice chemistry within our department as well, within all of our coaching staff. I think each of us are like-minded in terms of how to get the job done, and that's nice, particularly as an athletic director. It's nice to have that level of camaraderie. We have that within our staff as well. Very fortunate in that Coach Dooley has not only been experienced, but knows me because he played here and was a part of highly successful teams. Knows Columbia College and what a right fit Columbia College student athlete is, which is critically important. Coach Dooley does the majority of our recruiting, and that right fit is critical in high level success in recruiting. You know, sometimes you can have a highly talented player out there and try to recruit that person, but if they're not going to survive in the Columbia College environment,
Right.
you've wasted a lot of time and energy, and you're going to have a lot of frustration, either academically, socially, you know, if they're not prepared for our setting. And so it's nice to have somebody who understands Columbia College and understands me, the old guy. And then, you know, this year we added Coach Drew Grisella, and he came to us from William Woods as another former student athlete of ours, has some of those same qualities that we just talked about in terms of understanding Columbia College and small college athletics, and is an experienced head coach. And then we throw in Coach Burke, and Steve Burke has been with us for years and is really a recruiting and scouting coordinator for us. And so when we get all of us together, we have good, free conversation, sometimes spirited, and always in the best interest of our students. So that truly is a great combination to me. All these coaches have been head coaches and understand, you know, the dynamics of a game. And my son actually texted me after one of our games, had been watching on the computer, and said, you have a bench full of head coaches.
Which is a good thing to have, obviously. It's conversation for sure. We're going to talk to Sean Dooley, one of the assistant head coaches of Bob Burchard. He'll be on for you next, and we'll find out a little more in depth about Sean and his role, and then we'll get the two coaches together here as we wrap up things talking basketball, Columbia College Cougar basketball. A couple games coming up. We'll get into the schedule. You can get the whole schedule at ColumbiaCougars.com. We'll be back after this.